All right, we are back. Let's get into it. I am building out my personal assistant live, adding in all the features. So we're coming back to that. Everyone coming into the stream, welcome. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of the group. I'm streaming in my school community and on YouTube. So last week I was putting together some stuff. I'm building out all of these tools. There's a bunch of creators building out really cool agent tools, specifically, email stuff, calendar stuff. So I just haven't done it myself. And that's essentially what I am building out now is all the stuff I need for this personal assistant. And then we'll get into some more fancy things I am working on myself. Great. Double checking my stream. Sometimes my streaming software shuts off, so I'm just making sure everything's connected up. We're good to go. Let's do it. So I'm building this personal assistant called Isla. She's going to be able to manage my school community, my YouTube, Instagram, all this stuff eventually. Everything that I'm building will be available in the school community, all of my workflows, all of my resources, system prompts, that kind of stuff. Up in the school community, all available for free once you join up. And so this live stream is just me going about my day and recording what I'm doing so you guys can watch it. Cool. So we need to open up my other workflows. We need the memory tool. I think this one was pretty well finished off. Oh yeah, I was working on this update of memory. May or may not be working, so I'm just going to deactivate it. What else we got? Email tool, memory tool, email tool. Let's open up the calendar tool. So I haven't worked on this at all. I'm dedicating the live stream time to this build out. Great. So we were working on this calendar stuff last time, I think, right? Or was it the email stuff last time? Both I got working very primitively. By that I mean if we look at my user prompts for this agent's goal is, right here, your role is to use Gmail tools, and so far that's working great. There's no more complexity to that, so it's going to use the Gmail tools. Now once I add in more stuff, I'll probably prompt it out a little bit more elegantly to work with the tools. But for now, do email stuff works fine. So some other functionality here, I need the emails. Let's take a look back at the calendar tool, because same thing here, I had some very primitive prompting. Your role is to use Google Calendar tools. That works great. Very simple stuff here, so we haven't gotten into any problems so far. So I think I'm just gonna run some stuff here. I want this to appear in a different calendar. That's one thing. It was going into my primary calendar. Let's see. So I want things to pop up into this calendar, which should be the correct one. This is the Google account that I'm using for my Google Cloud. So it should be popping up into that account, but I don't think it is. So we can try that out. I'm going to open up Isla over here. Whoa, 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 whoa. And let's see. What happened? All right, I'll just pop it up into my Telegram app real quick, restart it, pull it back up in the web version. Okay, yeah. Cool, so let's have her create a new event and see what happens in this email or this calendar. Create a new event today for 1:00 p.m. I need to test workflows. Something like that. So more complex, rambling language. Let's see if she can do calendar tool stuff. Test workflows today, 1 p.m. will run until 2 p.m. You can review the event here. So I don't necessarily want her to give the links. So that could be the first prompt. Let's see what we got. All right, cool. So it's coming into the correct calendar now. That's good. 1 p.m. test workflows. Cool. I wonder, let's test it in here and say, do not provide calendar links. Save that. What is this? Is this the email that popped up? Cool, let's try this again. Create an event for tomorrow at 1 p.m. to 1:30 for recording new intro. Something like that. All right, so there's the link that we got. Yeah, okay, so that's see, that link goes to the wrong calendar. I don't want it to provide the links in the first place, and the link she's giving is to the wrong calendar. So let me come back over here. This is the correct calendar, and there's the event. Then she's providing a link, and it's linking to the wrong calendar, so I have no idea what she's even linking to. So anyone coming into the stream, I'm building out all of the Google stuff in n8n, all of these agents, all the agent tools for Google stuff. There's a lot of awesome creators doing all the Google stuff, and I just haven't gotten into it for myself personally. So I am doing that now, doing Google Calendar, Gmail, all the Google tools, and stumbling and fumbling through it just on my own, figuring it out. I think, I've watched a lot of creators. I can name drop Nate Herc and Zubir and, a bunch of people doing really cool agents, and following their tutorials is definitely the way to go on building this stuff out. I just haven't. And I always end up stumbling and fumbling through builds on my own anyway, even after watching other people's techniques, because coming at something totally fresh with just a basic understanding, you're going to have a sort of novice's mentality, beginner's luck, if you will, on creating something. If you don't know how something is built creatively, you have way more creative freedom than somebody who is stuck in a sort of workflow process. And that's something to emphasize here, is that a lot of this stuff has a more creative approach than a structured approach. It's a, what if I try this, then this is how it's done kind of thing. Now, eventually, it's getting to that point already where there's very awesome workflows that work every time, right? So we're getting to that point. We've been to that point for a long time, but still having a creative mindset when approaching these things and starting from scratch when testing is always going to be better than just doing something somebody else's way, if that makes sense, in the long run, right? So ultimately, building this stuff out for yourself, you're going to have to find your own use cases and prompts and everything that work anyway. Might as well get creative with it. So that's what I'm doing here, building out all the Google stuff and stumbling through it. It's the best way that I learn is by watching an expert fail at something. Definitely gives me confidence to keep trying, watching an expert or a master just totally fail. Stuff is hard. So what we need to do is first of all, put the prompt into the correct agent. So I'm going to close down all these other agents that I'm confusing myself by leaving up. And put our link prompt in the correct agent. That would help. Let's try that again. Create an event for today at 2:30. It's 30 minutes long. I need to record something. I always need to record something, so that's a fair bet. Great, so that simple prompt got rid of that link. We've got this could be wrong. I'm not necessarily in that time zone. I'm in Arizona time. So that might just be resolved in Google. Cool. Well, one issue solved. Let's move on. What else do we need to do? So we can create events. Let's see how she gets events. Can you list everything I have on my calendar today? Test workflows and recording something. Yep. Sounds about right. So again, just working off of these very simple prompts for now. I'm not going to change them until we run into an issue. So do calendar stuff and don't do links is working fine. Even in the parent agent here, the prompts to run those tools are very simple. Call the calendar tool when the user requires calendar stuff. That's working flawlessly. So that's kind of what I mean by taking a creative approach. If you were doing this, watching people on YouTube, great creators on YouTube doing this stuff with really complicated prompts, that might not be the way to go for you specifically in your use case. Just getting creative with it. So this prompt engineering technique of mine comes from prompting image generation, right? A lot of people get focused on the negative prompting or, the details. You only need to give the tool as much of a prompt as it needs to get the job done. If you're providing too much, you're not letting it, give you what you want, so to speak. Especially in image prompting, the less is more in many cases, specifically using Flux. That's the one that really performs well, in my opinion. But in the case of these agents, you want to be explicit, but if you're too specific, the entire point of using these agents is to give them a sort of autonomous nature, right? And the more explicit you are, you're removing their autonomy and you're making them perform the way that you want. And the way that you want might not be the best way that it sees fit to perform. Now, again, that's not engineering advice on how this stuff works. It's just only give it enough information to work and nothing more. And so far, do calendar stuff, do email stuff is working beautifully. So that's all I'm going to use. Taking that to that creative level. Social Mark, enjoying watching you create something. I was just talking today. And Jose, hello, how's it going, guys? Welcome back. Yeah, we're getting through this agent stuff. Me specifically, I haven't done anything with the Google tools for these agents. So a lot of awesome creators doing Google tool tutorials. I just haven't done it yet. So I'm figuring out all the Google stuff and starting from scratch, as it were, stumbling through it to get a real creative approach, get my experimental juices flowing. So we have the event tool. What else can we do here with Google? Let's create another tool. My problem is, if you guys were watching last week, I don't use Google Calendar. I don't use, I use Gmail, but it's not my primary communication method. So, getting through all the Google stuff, I use Google Drive. That's about it. So what can we do? We can delete, get our events, update events. Let's try an update event. I love Google Calendar. sleepy sea monster, and we need an event ID. Okay, so for those of you using n8n, we got this new little button right here. This is pretty awesome. This replaces the little tooltip they had for the from AI expression. That's essentially what this button is doing, is adding the from AI expression. And while adding this button is great, it's almost limiting in some ways, because if I click the button, you can see now we have the event ID defined automatically by the model. So it's using that from AI expression. If I disable this, we can see what actual expression is coming in here. I'll expand this out. And so the key looks great. Event ID, yeah, that's actually what I need. The description is missing, and we have a type value string. So in a lot of cases, I was passing through a Boolean or a different type of value, and the from AI button defaults to a string. So you'd have to come in here and edit this manually anyway. Just something to keep in mind if you guys are using the AI button here. You still might need to go back and edit the values manually, but it's nice to push the button, get the expression in there, then turn it off and go back and edit it, right? So I'm going to do that now for the event ID. I'm not actually sure what type of value this should be for the event ID. What are the event IDs in Google? How do I find an event ID in Google? This is my problem, right? Doing the Google stuff. How do I see an event ID? Is this the event ID up here? Let's see. Yeah, okay, that's the event ID. So the event ID would be a string. So that is fine to leave it as string, and we can add a description here. I want to use this prompt I've been using every time. Just saying the name of the thing again. So event, say event ID based on the input from the user. So since this is a chat bot, essentially I'm using the Telegram chat bot, the agent has to bring in the information based on the input from the user. I don't want the agent filling in this information with what it thinks the event ID should be. I want the event ID from the input based on the user. So, me saying change my 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, that's my input. That's what needs to go in there. And I don't want the agent to guess. So using that prompt, using that prompt blank based on the input from the user has been giving me great AI agent results for the from AI agent expression. Default reminders. What are reminders in Google? You guys have to teach me how to use Google Calendar. What are reminders? These are like the 1 hour before send a message kind of thing. So no reminders. Update fields. We want to update the summary. I think somebody last week told me how to use the Google Calendar. We want the summary, right? Let's see. Create event summary. Yeah. So we'll say from AI, click the button, turn it off, add in our description. summary based on input from the user. Summary is our event title, I guess. What else do we need? What else do we need to update? Start attendees, end, probably. We'll try that for now. Let's see what we get. And yeah, reminders, no reminders. Or we can say default reminders. Just brainstorming. All right, let's try that out to update event. So we need to name this tool. I've been naming the tools like this. This has probably been a little best practices thing that all of us have been doing. Naming your tools with an underscore. So in context, you know, the semantics of this name, the AI agent's going to know this is a name or a title. It's going to have that underscore. So just kind of like coding language, right? We're giving it that underscore instead of a semantic command saying something else, you know, create event. We're actually saying this tool is called create event, right? So this has been emerging, but to name stuff with an underscore, don't really know if it matters, but that's what all of us are doing. So it seems to be helping. So I'm going to rename this one update events underscore. Save it. And let's just see how casually I can tell her what to do now. So I'm going to say something like move my 2:30 to 3 or something. Can you move my 2:30 today to 3 o'clock? Now, speaking of semantics, that was very generic. Yeah. So that generic command to the agent, it needed to call into window buffer to remember what my 2:30 was, but I don't know if that information comes back and gets saved appropriately, right? Everything from the calendar tool coming back, getting stored, my 2:30 is blank, then being able to output that. So let's say something like change my 2:30 calendar event to start at 3 o'clock today. Maybe she's just, request limit. What does that mean? You can try updating the event directly in your calendar app. Let's refresh. Can you move my event at 2:30 to 3 o'clock today? I don't know where I'd be hitting any kind of request limit. Let's find out. Don't know what this is. Never seen this response from Isla. Google API's rate limits. This should not, yeah, this should not be an issue. So let's check our get events and turn this off. Let's limit this to 5 just to see what's going on. Can you move my 2:30 event today to 3 o'clock? I suppose I could test it so we can see which node is hitting what. Let's go do that. Yeah, all right, so let's toggle this off, test this, see if we're actually hitting that. Can you move my 2:30 event today to 3 o'clock? All right, so we're hitting the calendar tool fine and getting that error. Service receiving too many requests. Oh, OpenAI rate limit. OpenAI rate limit shouldn't be an issue either. Let's see what's going on there. Two most important things I pay for is ChatGPT, just the $20 a month plan. That is, couldn't live without this, couldn't do business without this. I was gonna say n8n, but probably n8n. n8n and make equally. All right, let's see. Where am I at? Shouldn't be hitting OpenAI rate limits at all. Yeah, I'm well under, so I don't know. Maybe, oh, weird. It was on the wrong credential here. That might be the reason. Let's see. Let's give that a try. We'll just test it. Can you move my 2:30 event today to 3 o'clock? If that doesn't solve it, I wonder if there's just a weird credential issue. I'll go take care of that. Yeah, there we go. So wrong credential. Another important piece of advice I have for everybody building stuff out is don't troubleshoot the wrong things. You'll spend so much time troubleshooting things that don't need to be troubleshot. Troubleshot. Only troubleshoot the right things. Now, knowing what things are the right things, that's the trick. That comes with experience. Let's check the calendar. And that did not happen. She did not move. So we changed. Oh, we changed the we changed the summary. That's why. That was the wrong request, the wrong input for this update summary. So I wonder if we need different nodes here. What do you guys think? Do we need different nodes to perform different updates, or can we do all of the updates that we might need, changing times, changing titles, changing attendees, all of that stuff in one update node? It makes more sense to me to have one node that does one job, one Google Calendar tool that does one job, since the agent can decide what that job is, versus having one node that the agent has to decipher what goes where. That's my creative thought process on using a single update node for a different update action. What do you guys think? Let's just try it. Let's try a second update command in here. So we'll change, I don't know how to use Google Calendar. That's my biggest flaw. Is it start time? Start time. And we'll just simply leave it at that and see what happens now. Flip this back on. Can you move my 2:30 event to 3 p.m.? She better not say I've already done that. Okay, let's try it. Great, so she moved it, right? We didn't add in the end time. So that worked fine. Let's add end time. Let's add, what is this, event ID? Let's add attendees. And define everything. Use the AI to define everything. Let's see what our event looks like. So we got no attendees. We can add some people. Don't know who those emails are. Cool. Can you move my 2:30 event to 3 o'clock and add Kirk Artman 00@gmail.com? Let's see what happens with that. Obviously, with voice transcription, when you're given people's names, it's going to have a hard time transcribing people's names, but she should know my name. Yeah, okay, there we go. So she added my correct email recording session from 2:30 to 3. Fortunately, I can't make those changes right now. Why now? I'm going to change the name of this too so that we see if that summary updates or not based on the context the agent is given. But she cannot. Currently experiencing difficulties. And why is that? Usually I would move the event titled recording session from 2:30 to 3 and add Kirk as an attendee. Yeah, API rate limits. Should not be hitting rate limits. I wonder if the ID field caused problems. Let's remove that ID field. Oops. What am I doing? Let's see. If you guys don't know me by now, I hate typing. I'd rather spend 5 minutes trying to copy and paste something from some obscure place than 30 seconds retyping it. It's probably another reason why I never became a coder. So I'm going to copy and paste the text transcription back into Isla. Instead of trying to type that out. So it's not the, unless I didn't save it. Let's save it, try it again. Live, creative, problem solving, starting from scratch. For anyone just coming into the stream, I'm basically just going about my workday, recording myself, building this stuff. And where I'm at in my own builds here, I'm building a personal assistant that's going to do a ton of different stuff. But I am working in this agent tool that can call to Google Calendar. So my problem working on this is that I don't use Google Calendar for anything. We can look at my Google Calendar here. And so I just haven't done any Google stuff, Google Calendar or Gmail stuff with the n8n agents. So I'm stumbling my way through that. Now there's a bunch of awesome creators on YouTube doing a bunch of stuff. I can name drop, Nate Herc really dove into the scheduling and, calendar stuff and Gmail stuff. He came up with some good loops, and he got his influences, I'm guessing, from Zubair, AI Workshop, or I think he changed his YouTube name to AI GPT Workshop. So, it's all of us just figuring this stuff out, finding best practices. And so in my workflow, when I'm building stuff, I like to start from scratch, because the more you can start from scratch, the more creative your approach can be. Unless you're learning, you want to follow good models, follow people that are building awesome stuff. But once you learn this stuff, if you can start over, you're going to have a new, fresh, creative mind on a workflow. If you're just copy and pasting workflows or prompts, or even your own workflows and prompts, you're not necessarily taking a new, fresh, creative approach. Even on top of that, we're getting updates to n8n, we're getting updates to agents, we're getting updates to LLMs. And so pasting workflows that worked months ago may not even be relevant, even though they're still working. That might not be the best way. And so, as an example, what I'm doing in this agent is much different than what I've done before. I'm just saying your role is to do Google Calendar stuff, right? Even in my parent agent, I have very simple prompts in the command in the system message. So call the calendar tool when the user requires calendar stuff. And that is working better than an explicit prompt here. And so that's what I mean, just taking a creative approach to experimenting in your builds if you have the time to get creative, right? So I'm stumbling through this stuff just to see and experiment what we can do. And I don't know how to use Google, so that too. So I'm trying to update events. I think everything worked. That last message came through. I've moved your title. So it was that event ID field that was blocking her for whatever reason. So let's see what happened in the calendar. She moved the event to a starting time of 3, but we didn't get that event to move 30 minutes ahead, right? Just moved the starting time. What's good though is we added Kirk Artman at Gmail and didn't change the summary. She knew that my time preferences were about the actual time and not adding it to the summary. So basically testing if we do in fact need just one node or multiple update event nodes here. So you guys that have been working with Google tools, you probably know how to do this stuff way better. So I'm just going to add my prompt in here. We'll say end time based on the user input. Just adding my prompt. Let's test that and see what happens. Let's go move this back to 230. Let's actually take me out of there. Let's see. Okay, so I mean, everything's working fine there. We're just trying to get that end time to change. So how do we do that effectively? Is it in the prompt here? Let's give it a shot. It's hard. It's actually hard. All that stuff about starting from scratch and getting creative, it's actually hard. My mind immediately wants to go to prompting this the way that I know works. And so prompting it in a different way is actually hard. So I'll just say, when using the update events tool, maintain durations of the events that maintain the durations of events. I don't know. Maintain the original durations of the events. Sure. Save it. Let's test that out. Change this back to 230. Can you move my event at 2:30 to 3 o'clock? Okay, let's see. No. Again, you guys probably know how to do this better. So I wonder if we add in the what is our rule in Google Calendar? What is that? Our rule. For anyone just coming into the stream, I don't use Google Calendar, so that is part of the struggle. Learning this stuff, and I want to fumble through it. So that is the best way. For me to learn. I'm a terrible student. Okay, got it. Understood. You know, part of me building this stuff out fresh from scratch without any understanding is on top of all the creative stuff, creative mindset. You know, I end up building new techniques that I can take other places. And that is the most valuable thing to me as a YouTube content creator and as an automator and as, you know, somebody in this space. If I can come up with a way of doing something that is more valuable, you know, a way of doing something that changes and is unique and is relevant, that's more valuable than actually doing the something. Right? My business doesn't rely on automations that have to run. My business relies on making automations, right? Of course, they have to run, but I'm not running an automation agency or I'm not doing all that stuff. So again, just building this stuff out is a very creative process for me and an iterative process for me. In case you all coming into the stream asking me like, why is this guy an idiot? Well, that's why. That is why. And I learn with all the methods of learning. I learn by reading, I learn by watching, I learn by, you know, visuals, I learn by instruction, I learn by doing, just trial and error. But the most valuable way that I learn is by watching somebody else fail. So if nothing else, you guys can watch my stream and say, dang, this stuff is hard. Here's an expert doing this stuff and he's failing at it. So I'm going to keep trying, right? If I can inspire anybody that way, that's the goal. So I might take a break on this just to keep things rolling. We're not getting the end time in there. Thanks. Yeah. Trying to do my best, you know, I want to teach everybody everything. I don't want information withheld. You know, I have the school community. I want people to learn, and I only charge for that because I have to make some kind of living. But if I didn't have to, I wouldn't, and I would teach everyone everything I know for free. hopefully I'm able to do some of that on YouTube. So I think I might move on from the calendar tool for now. Let's figure out what else this agent can do. I need some very specific things that might be too involved here, but I need some very specific things. I wonder. I wonder if I can actually build this one in real quick. This might be superfluous automation, but let's add in this one. So I built this to post to Instagram. Posting to Instagram and n8n is still pretty much a nightmare. You have to build an app, establish your app with Meta, and set up all your Meta stuff, and then create this container using the Facebook Graph API. Once you have the container of information, it gets sent off via the Graph API and posted to Instagram. So I'm going to be putting up this workflow and explaining how to post to Instagram and n8n in detail. But something we can do here is actually add this workflow into the personal assistant, meaning I can just, drop an image over to Isla and she could post it to Instagram for me, have a caption written for me, everything like that. That's a small functionality I want that would be a time saver. So I could add that over here. So what? That would just drop a file in. Drop a file in, so let's take this. This will be my Isla. I could take a photo on my phone and just text it to Isla. She could do the whole post for me, kind of thing. Or a video, she could do the whole post for me. Come up with the text and everything, hashtags and everything. I just send her the file. That's my thinking here. I can't spend a lot of time on Instagram. I'm trying to get, in my previous business, I was fully on Instagram. This business, doing digital automation diagram, I'm fully on YouTube, and I actually don't have time for Instagram. I want to get on Instagram, but I just can't. So hopefully Isla can run Instagram for me. My Isla IG post. My Isla IG post. So this is the workflow. The trigger we need is the execute. Now, my question is, will Telegram store the URL in a format that the Facebook Graph API can use to post? That's what we're figuring out. Come on, double click. So let's just say all data, and we'll set a output. This will be query. So this has to be a file, right? That's my only issue here is, can Telegram send those files? We're going to have to download the file, right? So let's add Telegram, download, get a file. And the file ID has to come over. So not sure how that would actually come over. try it out. I can brainstorm and work through it in my head, but on the live stream, just gotta try it, see what happens. So we need an IG tool. This one is going to be IG post. Let's call this IG tool. Now, how do we trigger this tool? Well, I'll just follow my same workflow. Add this prompt. Call the IG tool when the user wants to do Instagram stuff. I'm gonna keep this prompt until it doesn't work. Use the IG tool when the user wants to do Instagram stuff. Let's try it out. Not sure how. I've never sent a file across workflows, I don't think. I've never needed to, so I'm not sure how the file comes over into the execute node. Unpin it, save it, see what happens. We'll toggle this off so we can test it. And we need a file. So I think this is connected to, I should check that. I should set this up. This is going to create a record in this base. This was a temporary testing base, so I can go set up a new Airtable base if I need. Now, the reason I have an Airtable base in this step is because Instagram needs a publicly available URL that is not Google Drive or Dropbox. So we just need to host our media on, somewhere with a publicly available URL. And so I was using Discord as a pass-through step for this and some of my more basic automations. And then I just started, telling people use Airtable for free, build this simple base as a pass-through, right? Like I said, I'll be doing a step-by-step on this actual workflow in n8n later on, hopefully this week. I got way too much on my calendar. I compiled my calendar for my school community as a task list just to show everybody this is what I'm working on, and it's running out until October, just with what I know that I'm doing, not even the stuff that comes up. So I've got a lot to do. Okay, so we need to set up this base. I think this prompt works good. This is a great image analyzation prompt if you guys want to take a screenshot of this prompt here. If you need any kind of image analyzation, this is great. This works fine. But this one is crafted to create captions from your image. I have a bunch of image analyzation prompts. This one will write a caption about the image and not just describe it, right? So it'll give the right context of the image. If you're watching the playback of this live stream, grab that prompt. I have it up in the school community, but you can grab it up from here. Just making a mental to-do list to get this working. We need to set up all of these nodes correctly. So first, let's go into this Airtable base. Airtable base. Delete all of these records. Call this IG media pass through. So we'll drop the URL. We'll get the caption stored in here. You know, not only is this a pass through, but it's a posting record too, this base. You know, it's a temporary base for me, but you can always set up something more permanent just to get a, you know, an automatic posting record, a record of all of your media you've posted. Let's see what else we need here. I think this is added to my testing token. Cool. Let's refresh this. IG media pass through the table. Let's name this pass through. I had this whole system, you know, this exact same method set up in Discord as a pass through hosting service. But you have to pay, you have to upgrade Discord to get higher megabyte images and videos to go through that. So if you have a Discord presence, it's great to pass through all your media. Then it's in a list for you in a channel in Discord, and you can send that off in Discord, do Discord stuff. But if you don't have Discord, I've been telling people now to just make the switch to Airtable, get the free plan. I've got the link for that in the description of all my videos. Most of my videos using Airtable. I can put that in the description of this live stream if you want to check out Airtable for free. You know, I was going to say before, I was saying, what are the top tools that I pay for? ChatGPT, definitely, by far. And actually for myself, paying for vidIQ. vidIQ to, you know, YouTube analytics for my YouTube videos, just all the extra analytical stuff for my videos. That's a great one. ChatGPT, vidIQ, and Airtable. And n8n and Make, as I said before. Like, those are my top. I have a tech stack list in my school community, but those are the top by far. Cool. Brainstorming. Let's see. How can we do this differently or better? I guess we'll just connect it up. So instead of Google Drive, we're going to be coming from Telegram. So we need to send some data over to see what that looks like. Let's go for that. I'll disconnect it from my IG container. Maybe just disable these two. Let's drop in an image. Let's go find something. Something. So just Isla's profile pic here. Can drop that in, try and post it to Instagram. I think I'm still connected to my testing account. By the way, if you're doing automations to Instagram or YouTube or any social media, you want to have a throwaway account to do your testing. You know, back when I was learning this stuff and I first tried to automate Instagram, it ended up trying to post like 300 posts at once. And of course, I was immediately banned, lost my Instagram channel. So be careful with your IG testing. You want a dummy account, a burner account to test to. Let's come in here, test the workflow, send the image, see what happens. Oh, there we go. First roadblock is we don't have an image case. So let's add a route in the switch node for images. So now we have an image coming through. So we can say a similar message here. So we have a voice file, text message. We should now have some kind of file ID. So let's find probably this file ID. What are the differences here? These are sizes. Okay, so we'll have to differentiate between these photo sizes. I guess we can just grab the biggest one, always grab the biggest one. So photo 2, I'm not sure how this array will actually get built out every time. I just haven't sent any files with Telegram ever. I just use it for voice and text. Oh, that's not true. I drop stuff into the group chat in the school community. I haven't automated anything though, so let's just try this. The photo, third item in the array, file ID, and we'll see how consistent that is. And then if that exists, that is a string. And we'll have to make another route for videos if we do videos. Let's test that. And we got that image. Cool. So let's try that again. We'll need another something here. Yeah, so didn't mean to test that. Get out of there. Let's just put another edit fields node. Send that again. Got that coming through. So how can we set this? We want again, thinking creatively is hard. Like I know what I want to do because I've done it so many times, but trying to do it in a different creative way, you know, that's how you find the best practices, is doing it every single possible way, and then the way that naturally, you know, path of least resistance, flow like water, the way that naturally just comes out is going to be what becomes standard best practices. Like anything, I guess, anything at work, you got operating procedures. So yeah, we'll just say file ID, send that over to the agent. Now, how's the agent going to handle this? We still need the text to come through. We still need the text to come through saying, you know, send this to Instagram or something, right? Brainstorming. What do you guys think? Ways that I've done this before, sending images to an agent from other sources, just classifying the image, deciding on what the application is, and then sending it off. But I'm trying to do this differently. Change the field ID to text, drop it in. Oh, Razor, you're the one. You're the one that helped me out last time too with the Google stuff. Yeah, so I mean that would link it up in here, but we don't necessarily, because that'll get the text from the prompt coming through, and that's what we want, right? But I'm trying. Yeah, thanks, dude. That's what we want, right? Because we could send it into here. The way that I have this one working is actually just sending all the text, and it'll null out the ones that aren't coming through and then pass on the ones that are coming through. A single field right here to handling everything. So we could do that and then pass it on if we go that route. So let's try that. You know what you're talking about. Let's try that. Let's just run the image through into the text. Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't know, because we're getting it, right? We're getting that. Text. But we need change the field name in the other field note. Yeah, so well, let's try that. Trying to be get out of there. Yeah, so setting this one to text, right? File ID, change it to text. That way it's linked up to that field in the agent. Then we need this one coming through too, right? Second text. If we name those the same thing, they'll conflict there. Yeah, experimentation and trial and error. That's what I've been talking about a lot in this stream more than others, is just, I have ways that I do things, but especially on the stream, or not necessarily on the stream, but building out this stuff live, I'm working through it and I'm intentionally doing things differently just to experiment. I want that sense of experimentation, because anytime that I'm trying something new, I'm finding new ways maybe to do other things, other workflows for other things, not just this right here. So let's see what happens there. So we're not getting anything from that. So how else can we get a file into the agent? Let's see, I've done this a couple ways before, but all right, I think I have an idea. Brainstorming. I'm like having a moment. The other way we can, well, let's see. Well, yeah, so that is pulling the the JSON.text, I would have to name this edit fields node to text. Is that what you're saying? Because anytime you name something the same, it's going to come up with the rename, right? So this has to be a new name from that node. Yeah, and the field itself. See, so these are going to be identical, right? So I don't know. I mean, maybe you're right. Let's see. No, see, it's same thing. Yeah. Yeah. Now I can't remember my previous solution. So well, brainstorming. It's so funny. I might move on from this from now and just revisit my previous workflow on bringing images over. I had, it's not from Telegram, the way I brought images into the agent before and then passed them on. Not sure why it's not outputting anything at all. Well, let's see. Yeah. I'll rerun it through. Let's see what happens. Oh my gosh. Get out of there. Let's see. So yeah, this is this was the other thing I was talking about earlier too. It's like, don't spend time troubleshooting the wrong stuff, right? Just because it wasn't testing out here, you could spend all day trying to troubleshoot why, but that is probably not the issue. Don't troubleshoot the wrong stuff. So yeah, it's coming through, but well, let's keep going with it. I guess I was brainstorming my other workflow too, so let's just keep going with it if that's coming through. So issue processing your image, that's fine. We don't need to process it. We just need to send it on. So the prompt here is call the IG tool when the user wants to do Instagram stuff. And it called the IG tool. It didn't even, it just guessed I wanted to do Instagram stuff just from sending that image. I might not always necessarily want to do Instagram stuff, so we can tailor that up, but it immediately went to the IG tool, which is great. So we should have a execution in the IG tool, and we can figure out how that is coming across. So yeah, perfect. That's exactly what we need. Cool. No problems there. And it actually downloaded that file, which is amazing. No problems there. So the binary's coming through. I don't think that's the right ID though. So we might have to prompt that or prep that differently in the edit fields node. So cool. Let's just keep going with it. This is working fine. I didn't expect that to work. So Razor killing it again, my man. Geesh, simple stuff, simple solutions. So what are we not getting here? We're not getting the binary, which should be going through. Oh. Whoops. Let's go back and pin that ID. Okay, so this one that's coming through is, I just downloaded it and looked at it. It's the small one. When we get that over here, it's the smaller one, so we can just hook up this differently, perhaps. Just because, so I'm inputting photo 2. Oh, see, it's even different. It's got 3 in this one. So we'll have to figure out how that array is coming across from Telegram. Show the arrows. This is a Mac app called ScreenBrush. ScreenBrush. This is the interface right here, and I set it to hide the interface so that it's just the arrow. I don't really think I could pull up any more interface than that. It's like $3. Lifetime. Pretty great. I use it for everything. I'm in such a habit of using this arrow now that I find myself, just like you get in the habit of hitting Control Z for everything, I'm trying to hit the arrow for literally everything that I do. All right, so we're getting that downloaded. Let's move on to here. Should be getting that binary, but it's a bad request. So why is that? This right here, MIME type. So we need to convert this image type. And I don't know if we can do that with an edit fields node. I forgot, that goes back to my other workflow on how I did this before. And I'm just drawing a blank. I can't remember that. I could look it up. But we need to convert this MIME type into PNG or JPEG or something like that. So we can try it as a edit fields node. So no context, ChatGPT question. Let's just see what we come up with. So in my other method of doing this, I basically just restructure it. And then in another workflow, I used a code node, but let's see if we can use the set node, it looks like, and just set it, which I'm sure I've done multiple times before also. So manually set the MIME type, set the key to MIME type, set the value. Ouch. So coming from Telegram, we need to set the MIME type. Oh, this was the problem too. So tell me how you guys, my other workflow again, I'll have to find that as, I don't know why I don't keep my stuff better organized, but it's converting. So in n8n, n8n uses metadata for the binary information. We don't actually have any file information coming through in the binary. n8n has the binary in metadata. And so all we can access is the metadata. So how do we get the binary and work with the binary? So I was working, I'm sure you could do it in code, right? And I was working on a code node that was part of my other workflows. I don't think I have those, which is why I keep mentioning them and not looking it up. I do so much and I don't save it all. So we need the binary. Right? We don't have that. So let's try this part of my workflow where we get the extract. We convert binary to JSON extract. So inputting the binary, so we're getting the metadata binary, and then we can change this output. Input binary field is not in JSON format. What is that? Right, so we need JSON here. Let's say, I don't know, I'm at that hour and a half mark. My brain is turning to mush, so I'm just gonna have ChatGPT. I can't even think. Let's see. What would that be? For turning this into JSON, we need to get a MIME type. Oh my gosh, my brain. No, it's not that. We can't just input that. Yeah, no. Can you pass in the JSON from the input? Yeah, so I mean, essentially, this is the JSON, right? This is the whole result passed in here, which is what I just did. But that, gosh, I had this, I had this in my other workflow too. Why? We hit that hour and a half mark, guys. My brain has turned to mush. I can't remember my other workflows. I'll have to dive into what I had before. I don't think there's a new creative approach to doing this. So I'll just find that file extraction process. But essentially, Razor, we got that coming through, that file ID coming through. I'll just reference my previous workflow on how to get that file, get that binary file able to work with, and we could tackle that one next time. I'm still feeling pretty good. I might want to do a little more work before I end this live stream. Usually I am so gassed at the hour and a half mark just from talking to myself for so long. But I'll keep this in mind. I'll keep this workflow up. By the way, I'll be posting this workflow on how to post to Instagram, how to set up your Meta app and actually post to Instagram in n8n. I'll work on this, get this one out for you guys before the end of the week. It's just it's an easy one to do. The hardest part is setting up your app in Meta. Meta is a nightmare. Meta's a nightmare. So I'll get that one out and we can focus on that. Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the good luck. So that one's coming. I think I can show you guys a little bit about what I got coming down. Not much to show in n8n. It's all in a backlog of stuff. But basically working on more YouTube transcription stuff, working on Instagram and full social media posting. So now that I can post to social media completely in n8n, that was kind of a gate for me to figure out. I'll be rebuilding all of my workflows I have in make.com, right? I was using Make and I'm still using Make for all the social media stuff. But now, figuring this one out for you guys, I'm going to be building all of my social media CMS, CRMs, everything that I have in Make in n8n. So this is my digital automation diagram social media workflow right here. So I can post to Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and Facebook completely automatically and autonomously in Make. So I'm going to be rebuilding this in n8n for you. This is powered by this Airtable base. So it's essentially going to be the same Airtable base. I can just, do months worth of short form content, drop it in here, and it just publishes to whatever platforms automatically, autonomously. I just forget about this and all of my short form content gets handled. So I'm going to be building this whole system in n8n, try and get this done. This was a bit longer, so to get the videos recorded, I'll have it done and up in the school community. But to get the how-to videos recorded, this will take a little bit of time, but that's coming down. The other thing I could show you guys, let's see, brain is mush. Hour and a half mark. Just looking at my CMS tool here, we have all my social media accounts. I got the X and LinkedIn and Pinterest and everything, so it can post to all your accounts. You can automatically generate all your captions. I've got a hashtag bank, so you can just click a hashtag preset and add all your hashtags. And then I have all the assistant prompts in here, so everything is run with this Airtable base. If you wanted to actually jump into this Airtable base and start building out a base like this, just to get ready for the n8n automation, this base is in my YouTube video. If you guys want to watch this video, fully automate Instagram, this shows you how to build that base. It's only set up for Instagram, but you can easily expand that out to all of your social profiles. Just a fun fact. If you guys want to jump into some of my other content and build some cool stuff, just to prepare for what's coming down, that is what we can do. The other thing I can show you guys is I think that's really it. I mean, I've got so many things that aren't up here yet because they're just in my backlog of tasks to do. But my last YouTube video was this one right here. If you want to check that out, this finds you the top performing videos from any of the creators you want. I feel like I'm just advertising now. This one finds you top YouTube creators. This one does that. This one will provide a list for you of all the top performing videos from any creators that you want, right? And give you a watch list, give you a to-do list of all their top videos, stuff like that. So this one, this video tutorial is up, and if you want to join this school community, as always, you'll have access to all these workflows. You can check the link in the description of this live stream to find my school community link. But I think that's going to be it. Actually, I thought I had a little more gas, but I ended up just talking about what I'm doing. That'll be it for this live stream. Next week, I'll be fumbling through more of the Google stuff with a fresh mind, get all that Google stuff built out. Razor, you got to jump into the live stream sooner so that you can help me with the Google stuff. And we'll finish out the agent. So my plan with the live streams and building out Isla, I want to build out Isla live just because that's just a cool project. I think I have no time frame. If I needed to get her finished and operational, obviously I'd be spending more time on it, but I think just building it out live and coming back to it each week, setting that time aside, setting this time aside to work on my personal assistant is, fun for me. It's fun work that I'm doing. So I'll be building out Isla, and then of course at the end of this little series, building out my agents. Everything will be up and available in the school community. You can download all the workflows, and then I'll be outputting the how-to videos for every agent, after testing and using it, all of the prompts and everything. Day job pays the bills for me. Yeah. That was a scary transitioning to doing this full time. It's definitely not for the faint of heart. Definitely scary. So I appreciate you guys in the live stream for sure. You're the ones making this happen for me. Everyone on YouTube, if you're watching this on replay, you guys are making this happen for me. So I appreciate you. My biggest thing, I'm telling everybody I may or may not be the right guy for the job and teaching you this stuff. I'll always point out who is doing a better job at teaching you the right things if I can't teach it to you. I'm trying to learn everything, of course. It's a matter of finding, learning this stuff, AI automation. It's already a headache trying to figure out which tools are best. You shouldn't have to figure out, which YouTuber you want to follow also. So it's basically, whoever you like listening to, whoever teaches the way that you like, we're all teaching the same stuff. We're all getting, this stuff down. Everybody's just teaching things a little bit differently, a little different way. So it's going to be up to you, who do you like best? But I try to be authentic and open about everything that I'm doing. And that's my main goal. So it's all up to you guys. It's all because of you guys. Appreciate you. Thanks for being on the live stream. Look forward to seeing you guys in the school group if you want to join up. I've got the link down below. And I'll see you in the next live stream and in the next videos.